Okay, we've reached day 1000 off the grid, hence the title of this particular vlog, 1000 days in Sodom. Now I thought this was going to be a pretty grand video, much like day 666 off the grid, showing you all the stuff, mainly the changes of course from day 666 and all that kind of thing, but it's not exactly a very grand day. Look at this. In fact, it's actually raining right this second, so I might just get under some shelter. Oops, dropped my slipper. Dangerous slippers. Yeah, let's go. So really I'm just kind of playing around with the WeHouse charge controller at the moment. That's what I'm doing to commemorate day 1000 OTG. But yeah, I guess day 1000 is a nice round number, isn't it? Although I prefer dates that have got more significance to them, you know, like seasonal days, stuff like that. But, you know, for all the muggles out there, eh? Day 1000, it's good enough, isn't it? 1000 days off the grid. But I think what's much more important for us is this is basically the end of our third winter off the grid. The spring equinox was a week and a day ago, so we're definitely in spring now. I mean, we've been officially in spring for just over a week, so there's no doubt about it, we've passed through winter. I'm just kind of hoping we're not going to get this all spring and end up with one of these wet springs, because had enough of that. We had a bit of that last year, you know, a lot of that last year I should say, so not really up for it this year. Which is quite a contrast, because we had a pretty good winter this year in terms of not that much rain, you know, bit more sun and things like that, which was good because we had a fair amount of trouble with the generator over winter. So if it had been a winter like typically here, with lots more use of the generator, we probably would have been fucked, you know. But I think we did pretty well in the winter, and it was, you know, cold. It had some cold parts to it and stuff like that, but yeah, it's fairly cold today too. And also I'm feeling croquet. There's one of those lurgies going around, those crazy colds that you don't ever seem to remember getting when you were younger. And I'm not talking about childhood days, but even like 10, 15 years ago, you know, it's like it seems that twice a year these crazy new colds come out now that everyone seems to get, you know, everyone. And every time they're different, they do different things, different combinations of sore throat, headache, fucking coughing, low energy, and different stages of as it progresses in different ways. It's like, you got to wonder whether these things are deliberately engineered and let out into the environment. Oh my god, now my channel's going to be flagged. Conspiracy stuff, eh? But I just don't remember it ever being like that. So I've got one of those at the moment, so it's putting me in pretty low energies, and this one causes a lot of brain fog too, so you tend to fuck things up and forget things a bit as well. It's a bit of a cunt, really. But anyway, I'll halt this now and we'll go and see what the WeHouse charge controller is doing. I want to kind of film the transition from day to night for you if I can. And the resistor I've currently got on there as the hysteresis resistor. Oh look, the day arrow's just gone. You might have caught the last few flickers of that, which means we're on the downward slope now. Oh look, there's the PV voltage going down. Now the best time of year to calibrate this, of course, is around the time of the equinoxes, and the best days to do it on are these overcast days, because they're the most trouble. Sunny days give a really nice defined day Indian, so even a really sloppy simple circuit without any feedback can work fine on days like that. It's these days here where it can get dark and then it can lighten up again as the clouds shift are the real tests of such a circuit. So that's why they're really good days for trying out such a device and tuning it. And I don't think I'm quite there yet. My hysteresis resistor is 5.6K, which does have a noticeable effect on when it switches, but I think I might be dropping it down a little bit more than that. As you can see, the voltage on there is wiggling around because things just don't happen that progressively on a cloudy day. The aim is, of course, to tune the circuit in such a way that the lights don't bounce on and off on days like this towards the switching time, and they also come on early enough that no one feels they need to come here and manually force the unit on. Yeah, there's that. I guess I can croak as much as I want now because I've explained to you all that I'm feeling crook, so yeah. There we go, look, the sun's come back. Well, it's flashing. 5.1. When this gets to 3.5 on the PV voltage, the sun will disappear, the sun icon will disappear, and when it gets to below 2.5, the moon icon will come on, and if it stays like that for around 20 or 30 seconds, then the load will be illuminated, which is over here. A nice CFL bulb on there, of course. But look, it's jumped all the way back up again. It's jumping around all over the place at the moment. So basically we've got two layers of discrimination. The WeHouse charge controller itself has its own voltage sensing levels where it will activate certain things, and it's got steps there so it doesn't just fall in and out of switching all the time. And then we've got, of course, the feedback from its switching fed back into the darkness adjustment circuit here. But my aim is to get on with this and get this resistor calibrated and soldered permanently into that little header there and cap this whole thing up, and, you know, just basically forget about it. Oh, there we go, it's coming down a bit now. As you can see, I've already, well, I've shown this on another video, tidied up the wiring here. Now, one thing about getting through this winter is this winter, what proved to be a very advantageous thing to have in the solar system was our backup battery banks. Backup battery banks are a really awesome thing to have, people. You might say, well, why not just make your big battery bank bigger, you know, your main battery bank bigger? Well, the thing is, a backup battery bank can be made from batteries that are lower performance because you only draw on them now and then when the big ones just don't quite make it. So it's kind of just works really well. I mean, it's hard to explain, but it saved us so much generator running, and at times when we've had generator outages, it saved us from ending up, well, I don't know about literally lighting candles, but almost figuratively lighting candles, you know what I'm saying, because of our backup battery banks, which is the infamous 10 volt bank, of course, which usually helps with the 24 volt freezer circuit, and also the 12 volt backup bank, which can be connected to various banks, but it's actually been connected to the day batteries, which normally run our tally for late night, or later night. Well, it's always late night for us viewing, you know. Currently it's still been Doctor Who, but we do take breaks from that now and then and watch other things. So yeah, I'm so impressed with the performance of the battery banks. I'm going to erect a backup battery bank for every battery bank I have. I mean, any of you guys that know my system a little bit knows that I've got lots of separate battery banks rather than one or two big ones. So I'm going to basically have a battery bank or backup for each particular bank. So I've got to make one for the night batteries. Oh, here we go. Oh. One for the night batteries, and one for the light batteries, and one for the what's called the 12 volt batteries. Why do I call them the 12 volt batteries? Because they run the circuit that comes inside, which runs a whole lot of 12 volt low voltage things that this WeHouse charge controller is actually connected through to ultimately. Yeah, but yeah, the backup batteries have been amazing, really. we've spent more money on generators this winter than we've spent on petrol for the generator, that's for sure. I don't feel we've spent a lot of money on petrol this winter comparatively, but that's probably because of the, here we go, look, the sun icon's gone now. That's probably because of the sunnier winter, which was really good. And that tree that the neighbours cut down, that definitely came to bear on things being better too. And just, you know, chipping away with improvements, putting up more panels and stuff. I've also weeded out quite a few weak batteries too. A lot of those 70 amp hour, I can't remember what they're called now, First Power I think, AGMs that I picked up from Palmerston North about 2 or 3 years ago. About 3 years ago, almost to the month here now, we're in October. They've slowly failed, and oh, here we go, 2.5, no, not quite going to do it, probably next round it'll just about do it. Yeah, they're one by one they've slowly failed, and some of them failed rather spectacularly. They started, let's call it kettling, and one of them was heading towards that on the day we left for our spring equinox mission. I went and checked the solar shed before I went. Here we go, had a wee flash of the night there. I checked the batteries in the shed like I always do before we go, and I could smell sulphur, rotten eggs, hydrogen sulfide, and I didn't need a clamp meter to find out which battery was pulling current, because it was obvious this battery was warm. Like it wasn't puffing out smoke or like kettling or anything like that, but I disconnected it pretty quick from the battery bank, and that's the last one of those 70 amp hour AGMs. Yeah, gone. One of them is still in the 10 volt bank, and the one that I've disconnected may enter the 10 volt bank. I haven't actually been back to check its final voltage. Oh, there we go. There's our night symbol, and looks like, yep, the PV voltage has dropped to 0. When the load turns on, which it's just done there, it's now removed the drive voltage through this hysteresis resistor, so that's no longer assisting to keep the input signal up along with the light dependent resistor in the window. So it means now it has to get a heck of a lot lighter before this will backpedal, and that's the whole point of hysteresis, so that you don't get something that's just sitting on the switching point going on, off, on, off, on, off. Well, I still think we could do with more, but I can see how this is going, basically. Good day for it. Day 1000 off the grid. 1,000 days in Sodom. That's a Venom song, by the way. Yeah. I think this is basically it, really. So yeah, if something curious happens with the WeHouse charge controller, I might film another segment, but I think this is good. I mean, this is 9 minutes of me ranting, that's not bad for, celebrating 1,000 days off the grid, is it? 3 winters, people, 3 winters. But I'll do a big video when we hit the actual full 3-year mark, on January the 5th.